Hello. I found something in the basement I've been meaning to tinker with, but I haven't quite got to it. And I meant to quite some time ago. I gotta get this out of the way. Now, unfortunately, I know, at least so far, with what I have here, I won't be able to see anything on the screen. But what I believe here I have is a PONG game. What I also have is a mess. A tremendous mess of wires. Ugh. How many of you have a box of wires? And don't tell me, let me guess, all kinds of little power supplies with plugs that don't fit anything, but that you might need one day. Yes, I know that feeling. Alright, this cable seems to be the output, and it's quite long. I think I kind of, sort of, have the output wire figured. Now I imagine this goes to an RF something. Go there. Okay, so now I have power. And it too is a very tangled mess. Now, is that ooh, the power. Okay, now I gotta be careful not to lose this. Because if I lose this, although I may have a box with all kinds of things like this, I'll never find this one again, I'm sure. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. It is funny how terribly fouled wires can become. Reminds me of, I used to, when I was little, my grandmother had this rod that we would use to fish. And we'd very rarely catch any fish or anything, because we'd just basically stand down at the bottom of the steps or slightly in the water and cast. But I remember there was something that would happen occasionally. I think she called it a backlash. And it's funny, I could never figure out why, because you know, you do the same thing. Over and over, like you cast, you know, hold the thing, away you go, and it wasn't one where you had the button and the stuff just ran out. It was an old rod. Oh my word. Anyway, one time out of however many, you just hear this horrible noise, and not much would come out. And then Grandma would sit there, sort out the backlash, and away we'd go again. Okay, stop that, stop that, stop that. I really don't want to drop this thing. Oh man. Okay, I think we're almost to the point where the power Gee, I can't even move it for a second, and it tries to get caught up in the wires again. No, no, no. Okay. Power supply. Stop funny, after getting all of that separated, these things don't look so bad. So what? Okay, hang on. Once again, I really don't want to drop anything. Oh, okay. So here we have a paddle. And it does seem that if I'm careful, that I can stick this wire inside the paddle so it won't get mixed up with anything. And then I should be able, I believe, to hook this on the side of the console. That is what I believe. Now the reason I think this is a PONG game is the controls give me an indication that that's what it is. Excuse me, while I'm still just trying to get the last little bit of wire in and then hook this onto the side of the on the console. Excellent. It says reset manual serve. Game selector, tennis, hockey, squash, and practice. It has manual, auto, serve, manual, auto, speed, fast, normal, angle, wide, narrow, and bat size, small or large. And that, as I remember, is pretty much, there we go, what the PONG games had, and what the PONG games were. And I'm sorry, I don't think we're going to get to see this today. It was like the very first video games, and it was basically rectangles and things, and like with tennis, you know, the thing would go back and forth, and you try and get your paddle in the way, but it wasn't like a racket, it was just like a rectangle. And I wish we still had the one that we had. It was kind of a wood grain thing, and as I remember, the wood started to come apart. So, it would have been long ago destroyed. Okay. So, here is the unit. And what does it say on it? DYN. Electronics Inc. Model number 4. FCC type approval, Oh, it's got, wait a second here. Is that a spot for batteries? Oh, come on. I do want to be careful. I don't, well, oh, look at that. Well, look at that, yes. It has a spot for batteries. And it has some foam in here to protect that the battery should stay in place. And of course the foam is falling apart. So what would this take? Batteries. I think, well, they're 1.5, probably C, maybe D's. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to break this. That back on. Now, long ago, the reason I believe that this is functioning, even though I've not been able to see it function, was because, where is the power off? Because I did connect it once, not to a television, but I did power it up. And you see, the sound of in these things did not go through the television. It came from the, oh boy, from the console. I'm not sure there's a volume control. It wasn't hideously loud, but certainly you could hear it. So when I did hook this up years ago, I heard it beeping. Alright, I need to stretch forward and try to get this into a suitable plug receptacle, something. There's a wire in the way. Okay, I think we're in. I guess, remember, back then, TVs were usually big things, so they did give you considerable cords so you could get kind of away from them. Alright, so we have power. Not that we've turned it on yet. The video's over there. The paddles are attached. Let's turn it on. Okay, there you go. And that is why I believe this works. Okay, we're in practice mode. I'm going to turn this to, like it's fast, wide, large. I'm going to turn this to something. Manual serve. I'm going to press the manual serve button. Yes. So when you do that, it sounds like it's kind of playing. Now, so basically the idea was you had the paddles. I switched over to tennis. I'm going to hit the reset button. Anyway, so as I say, this is why I think this works. It sounds like it works. Either that or it's some sort of strange alien version of Morse code, and they're trying to reach me through this machine. Now, I do have on another television a switch box for a 64. See, this doesn't even have a brand on it, so I don't even know how to look it up. But I'm assuming back then that the signals were RF and went into the back of the television, thusly, I'm thinking. But I don't know. So if you have seen one of these, you know what this is. Let me know. It's funny, the paddle lettering is certainly a computer font. It is. And the rest of it is just, normal. So I can imagine this. This would have been like pre-Commodore 64 days. Like maybe mid-70s, maybe earlier. I don't remember when the PONG games came out. But I can imagine on Christmas morning, this was under the tree, and then Dad, or Mom, or maybe there's two dads, maybe there's two moms, who knows. But anyway, somebody, maybe Grandpa, Grandma, somebody would have a book, and they'd be looking, trying to figure out, how do we hook this up? And then, probably, for the next many, many hours, this would be heard. Probably only turned off and disrupted when it was time for dinner. And so, power over here, TV, long cord, and then the paddles separated, so you could sit, because it'd be hard, not impossible. Like if you had two little people sitting in two little chairs with the person on this side using their left hand and the person on this side using their right hand, you could maybe have this on a table and go. But I would suspect it's more likely that they were lying on the floor, curled up on pillows, or sitting, or something, and had the wires extended, and the game was on. So as I say, I don't know if this works, but I think it does. I think it does. I'm going to pick it up again very carefully. And look again at the bottom. DYN, electronic zinc. Oh, okay, there's something else on the bottom here. Oh, okay. There is, although I cannot see if there's actually anything inside there. There's something that says 3-channel, 4-channel TV. Okay, I think. So yeah, that would mean typically RF modulator. Let me see what I can see here. Oh, yeah, TV channel, not TV, okay. 3, 4. Now, actually, boy, if that is the thing, it is really deep. Like there's a hole here. But you know, normally you think the switch, you could just, whatever. This, I think you really gotta stick something in. A ways to get there. I think that's what, I would be afraid to actually stick something in, especially with the power on. Made in Japan. Well, maybe if I Google it, something will come up. Maybe. Anyway, I will endeavor to see if I can connect this to something that it might actually work on. And then we can see if it works. This, again, has been something that has been in the basement for a very long time. And I keep on thinking, oh yeah, I should look at that. Anyway, today is that day. At least a little bit. So, I'm going to very carefully make sure I keep the power supply together. It's funny, as I look at this, this is the, you know, white plastic stuff, but one paddle, and I don't know why, maybe it was replaced at some point, one paddle is slightly yellowed compared to the other, and the rest of the thing. Just slightly. Oh well. Anyway, I'll leave you with the sound of whatever this is. Reset. Think back to Christmas, 1975. Or so. I will leave you to the exciting sounds of whatever PONG game this is. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.